It is kind of insane that for about $20 a month, or sometimes for free, you have the sum of human knowledge at your fingertips in ChatGPT, Gemini, or similar tools. It feels kind of cheap for what it offers, but is it really that cheap though? Because I have come to realize that whenever something in the digital world feels this cheap, someone or something in the physical world is paying the difference. Behind every AI generated image and every chatbot response lies a massive, hungry industrial machine. We are currently witnessing a global industrial expansion. We are bringing back old coal plants, draining local water supplies, and systematically extracting human labor and creativity. Today, we are looking at the true cost of the AI revolution, from ever increasing data centers to the mineral mines of the global south. We are going to uncover the hidden infrastructure of this new era and find out the high price of cheap intelligence. When we hear the word factory, we kind of think of assembly lines or chemical plants. We rarely picture a quiet, windowless building on the edge of the town. The phrase data center sounds nothing like a traditional factory. But the truth is, these are massive industrial sites, and just like the factories of the past, they require vast stretches of land, millions of gallons of water, and truly staggering amount of electricity. To understand the scale of this, look at the proposed Stargate project from Microsoft and OpenAI. It's a $100 billion supercomputer designed to push the absolute limits of artificial intelligence. It requires a huge amount of power and space. It sounds massive, but then you look at what is being built right now in Louisiana, Meta's Hyperion data center. When you put them side by side, Hyperion completely takes over Stargate in sheer physical land size. It is a giant industrial complex. Once it's fully operational, that single facility is projected to draw more than twice the power of the entire city of New Orleans. Even though renewals are getting cheaper, they can't keep up with the speed of data center expansion. To keep the servers running 24/7, utility companies are pulling coal plants out of retirement or delaying their closures. The Department of Energy in US has even used emergency authority to keep coal plants running specifically to fuel AI data centers. All this sudden demand for power is putting massive strain on the electrical grid, and operating that grid is incredibly expensive. But the tech companies aren't quite paying that bill. Instead, it gets passed down to everyday people. Essentially, families living near these data centers are paying a hidden tax on their monthly power bills just to subsidize the electricity needed to keep these AI servers running. And it's not just electricity that is required to fuel this AI revolution. These machines are consuming fresh water at an industrial scale. A mid-sized data center can consume as much water as a small town. The largest hyperscale facilities, they require up to 5 million gallons every single day, roughly the same as a city of 50,000 people. Why do they need so much water? It's because of heat. Those thousands of GPUs we mentioned generate intense thermal loads that could melt the hardware if not cooled constantly. If you dig even deeper, you find that AI is built on a foundation of heavy metals. Every server, every wire, and every battery requires minerals like copper and lithium, often sourced from the global south under harmful environmental conditions. Because these data centers draw so much power, they need far more copper than traditional computing. And to prevent power failures, they require massive lithium backups. Take the Atacama Desert in Chile. It's one of the driest environments in the world, but mining that lithium requires pumping vast amounts of groundwater. We are draining a desert and hurting the indigenous people who live there just to stabilize the power supply for a server farm. Also, to run these LLM models used by the chatbots, companies are buying hundreds of thousands of specialized GPU chips like the NVIDIA H100, which can cost up to $40,000 per unit. And these chips aren't built to last. Under the extreme heat and 24/7 workload of AI training, their lifespan is estimated at only 2 to 5 years. This creates a cycle of a business strategy where products are intentionally designed with a limited lifespan so that consumers will purchase replacements sooner. This practice causes high waste and environmental damage. By 2030, the AI industry is projected to generate up to 5 million metric tons of e-waste every single year. We have explored the physical consequences of AI on our electricity, water, and land, but there is a second type of extraction happening, one that targets the very essence of human creativity. Tech giants have spent years vacuuming up the internet. They have collected billions of Reddit posts, millions of public photos, and the life's work of countless independent artists, treating all of it as free raw materials. They call it training data. But a lot of people are starting to realize it's just companies collecting our own data, mining our own past, so they can sell it back to us as a subscription. And people are finally starting to push back. Just recently, the AI giant Anthropic agreed to a historic $1.5 billion settlement. Why? Because they were caught using hundreds of thousands of pirated books to train their chatbot Claude. They took the life's work of thousands of human authors without ever asking for permission, treating human creativity as just another natural resource to be extracted and monetized. We're also watching the internet fill up with what researchers are calling AI slope. Low effort, high volume garbage designed purely to game algorithms. We are seeing a world where bots create content for other bots to engage with, while humans are pushed out of the loop. You can see this happening in several social media platforms already. You go to YouTube, a lot of videos are just fully AI generated. You go to the comment section, half of them are just spam comments made by chatbots. Similarly, in LinkedIn, a lot of comments are just AI generated. They offer pretty much zero insight or any value to a human reader using the platform. You kind of feel like the overall quality of the internet has degraded in the last few years, where a genuinely authentic content is just disappearing among the hundreds of AI generated content. But there's a technical danger here too, which is called modal collapse. As AI generated slope floods the internet, future AI models will obviously be trained on the output of current AI models. It's a digital form of inbreeding pretty much. When an AI learns from itself instead of from diverse human thought, it begins to lose its grip on reality. The data becomes polluted, leading to models that are more biased, less creative, and eventually completely nonsensical. We keep using the phrase artificial intelligence, but honestly, that's kind of a lie. The truth is, AI is powered by a massive, completely unseen workforce of hundreds of people. Their daily job is to go through the absolute worst of humanity so that our chatbot stays safe and polite. This work gets outsourced to places like Kenya or Venezuela. In a collapsed economy, people don't really choose their careers. They take what they can to survive. Tech giants love to frame this as job creation. In practice, it's just using economic desperation to keep profit margins high. People hear ways like $1.32 per hour and assume it goes a long way over there. That completely ignores what the job actually demands. For that $1, workers spend 8 hours a day reading or even watching quite a lot of dark stuff imaginable: child abuse, animal torture, beheadings. You can't just hand in your 2 weeks' notice when your country is in an economic crisis. People are sacrificing their mental health just to afford basic groceries, all while companies hiring them become the wealthiest in human history. We usually measure the progress of AI in abstract terms, things like parameters, tokens, or compute. They're not measured in the billions of gallons of water disappearing from local communities, the tons of carbon from coal plants we are pulling out of retirement, and the millions of tons of copper and lithium being extracted out of Earth just to build these data centers. It's also not measured in the systematic extraction of human creativity. We are talking about billions of artworks, stories, and ideas vacuumed from the internet without consent or compensation. It's pretty much a digital colonialism where our collective data is being stolen from us or used without our consent to train the machine learning models, which make millions of dollars for these companies, and they are sold back to us as a service. It's kind of crazy, honestly. The truth is, we have been looking at AI through a screen, but the consequences are all around us in the physical world. In the end, there's nothing artificial about the impact of artificial intelligence. Every prompt we run, every image we generate has a real world footprint. We are fueling a machine with our natural resources and our own creative history, sacrificing the very real world we live in just so tech giants can sell us a simulation.